Welcome to Study Loop.
Question 14. Have R equals 24 omega, where L equals 2H, C equals 0.005, 5 and when I divide 1 over 0.005, I get 200. We also know that Q of 0 equals 0.001 and Q prime of 0 equals 0. So my equation will be 2Q double prime plus 24Q prime plus 200Q equals 12 volts. So that gives me 2R squared plus 24R plus 200 equals 0. Using the quadratic formula, I have negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 144 minus 400 over 2. Therefore, I have negative 12 plus or minus the square root of negative 256 over 2, which is negative 12 plus or minus 16I squared over 2, which is 6 plus or minus 8I. That gives us the equation of C1 E negative 6t cosine 8t plus C2 E negative 6t sine of 8t. So I'm going to let Q of t equal A. Q prime, of course, then would equal 0. Q double prime would equal 0. So I have 0 equals 200A. Oh, not, that would be 12 equals 200A. Therefore, A equals 12 over 200, which is 3 over 50. So I'm going to tag that right onto the end of this equation. And now I'm going to solve for my C1. So I'm going to put in a 0.001 equals, and every place I see a P, I'm going to put in a 0. So that gives me C1. Sine, of course, would be wiped. This whole thing would be wiped out. So I only have C1. Cosine of 8 times 0 is 1 plus 3 over 50. So C1 gives me negative 0.059. Now I take the prime of my function, Q prime, t, and I'm going to do the product rule. So I get negative 6 times C1 e to the negative 6t power cosine 8t minus 8 C1 e to the negative 6t power sine of 8t minus 6 C2 e to the negative 6t power sine of 8t plus 8 C2 e to the negative 6t power cosine of 8t. Phew! Alright, so looking at that, plugging in my 0 for my prime, and putting in a 0 for my t. The only place I'm going to have values is for cosine. So I get negative 6 C1 plus 8 C2, because for sine of 0 is 0, so 0 times that whole thing would just wipe it right out. So now I have zero equals negative 6 times negative 0.059 plus 8 C2 Alrighty, so I have 8 C2 equals 0.472 divided by 8. C2 becomes 0.73 7, 8. So I equals 0.7378, and I have an 8 because of rounding. E negative 6t sine of 8t. And going back to my Q of C, plugging in the known values, I get negative 0.059, which is my C1, e to the negative 6t cosine 8t plus my 0.443, which is my C2. e to the negative 6t sine of 8t plus